Hey everyone, remember in the old days when there were no combos, when there was no stun, and it was just good old-fashioned summon out a giant monster with high attack and just attack into your opponent and pray they don't have a back row? Well, let me introduce you to War Rock. Hey everyone, thank you for tuning in to Team Forbidden's YouTube page again. It is Andrew the Collector here, and today we have a very interesting style of deck. Recently in the Lightning Vortex, Konami released a world premiere set called War Rock. This deck is basically just your old-fashioned summon out a monster and attack and get effects off of that when they attack. You may remember such effects from Amazonas. Yes, it's been that long. A lot of people thought that this deck was going to be trash. And for the most part, they're kind of right. But that doesn't mean that they're not playable. And my whole philosophy, our whole team's philosophy basically, is that beneath a bitter rind lies a sweet and succulent fruit. So I'm here to show you how sweet War Rock can actually be. And if you're really interested in picking up this core, you can pick up every single War Rock, including the field spell, for under $10. That's how much I spent on it. That's how much people really don't believe in this deck. But it's only the first set. They may get new support in the future, but until then, let's get right into it. So just to clarify, this is a Warrior Earth deck that basically revolves around battle. So we're just going to start out with the first three, probably the most important card in the deck. Sorry for the glare. Is 3 War Rock Frontier. This one's main strategy is that when it attacks, after it does battle, during the damage calculation, you can search out any War Rock card from your deck to your hand, and then all War Rock monsters you control gain 200 attack. Each War Rock has a certain effect during the battle phase to where their effect activates, and then all War Rock monsters on your side of the field gain 200 attack. Sometimes the attack gain can vary depending on how many cards you control with their higher level monsters, but for the most part they all just gain 200 attack. But after each one of the monsters' effects activate, that attack can start adding up. But yeah, and when he is destroyed by battle, or by card effect, I believe. Oh no, it's just when he is destroyed by a card effect, you can special summon a War Rock from your hand or deck. So that's really good. So let's say it's out and your opponent destroys it with Dragoon or something. You can use it to special summon out your big War Chief, which we'll get to in a minute. So yeah, you're definitely going to want to run 3 of him because he's your main searcher, aside from their field spell, which we'll get to in a minute. And the next one is 3 War Rock Gatios. Sorry if I butchered that name. When a War Rock monster you control is normal summoned to your field, you can special summon from your hand. So he's basically just a free body. He doesn't have an effect during the battle phase, but when he is destroyed by opponent's card effect, you can special summon a level 5 or higher War Rock monster from your hand or deck. Pretty much the same as this guy, only this one has a level restriction. But I mean, he has 1900 attack and 1900 defense, so he's a really good beater on his own. Next on, we have War Rock Orpus. He's level 5 Earth, 2100 attack and 21 defense. Just to let you know, they all have the same attack as to their defense. His effect is that if you control only War Rock monsters or no monsters at all, you can normal summon it without tributing. And when he does battle, you can send a War Rock monster from your deck to your graveyard, and all War Rock monsters on the field gain 200 attack. 200 attack. And I forgot to mention, all the attack gain lasts until the end of your opponent's turn. So if this card, if any of your War Rock monsters attack, activate their effects, and they gain 200 until the end of your opponent's next turn, which is really good. So yeah, he's a definite 3 of. We're only running 2 of War Rock Skylar. Her effect is that she gains 100 attack for each monster that your opponent controls, so that's really good. And during the battle, in which a Earth Warrior monster in general battles, which is a quick effect, by the way. You can target one level 5 or lower Earth Warrior monster in your graveyard and special summon it. But all War Rock monsters that you currently control gain 200 attack until the end of your opponent's turn. But for the rest of the turn, you cannot attack your opponent directly with level 5 or lower monsters, which is a real downside for this deck, because if you get her out and you get either your Orpus or your Frontier or your Geckos, if you get any of these guys out, they won't be able to attack your opponent directly. They'll only be able to attack monsters, the first real bummer of this deck, is that it has restrictions when it doesn't really need any restrictions for their type of effects. But I only run 2 because you don't really want to see her. You want to dump her to the graveyard to get her out with other means, or you special summon her out with your field spell. And then the last War Rock monster is War Rock Bashilios, I guess. He's a 27 attack and defense monster. He's level 8. And during the battle phase, if an Earth Warrior monster you control battles, which is also a quick effect again, you can activate this effect to where this card can attack your opponent directly, and all War Rock monsters you control gain 200 attack. But if this card is in your hand or in the graveyard when an Earth Warrior monster is destroyed by battle, you can special summon this card. You can special summon him out, which is really good. So, but definitely you want to run 2 because most of the time you'll be dumping him to the graveyard, and you can recur him from the graveyard with his own effect. That's it for the War Rock monsters. Onto the rest of the monster lineup. We have 3 Ash Blossom, 2 Ghost Spell, just general hand traps. You can trade these out for any hand traps depending on the format that you're in or whatever matchup you go against. And our last 2 monsters are Pankratops and Alpha, the Master of Beasts. This is, if you can't tell already, this is a going second deck, so I thought I might as well have 2 of the best going second monsters in the game. So yeah, and they're both Earth, so synergy. Now onto the spells. Probably the most important card in the deck is War Rock Mountain. Again, sorry for the glare. It's basically a Union Hanger for the deck. When you activate it, you can search out a War Rock monster from your deck to your hand. Simple. And at the start of the battle phase, if you control no monsters or all monsters you control are warrior monsters, you can special summon 1 War Rock monster from your hand with a different name than cards that you control. And if a War Rock monster you control will be destroyed by battle, you can send this to the graveyard from the field spell instead. So yeah, most expensive card out of the deck. Even then, it's only $4 or maybe $3, depending on where you get it from. But yeah, you need to run no less than 3. This deck, it literally lives and dies by the field spell, depending on how the matchup goes. Off to the next one, War Rock Ordeal. When you activate it, it gains 3 counters, oddly enough. And its effect is that whenever a War Rock monster you control destroys a monster by battle, you remove 1 of the counters and draw 1 card, which is not once per turn. So you activate this, attack into 3 monsters with 3 different monsters you control, draw 3 cards, and this card goes to the graveyard. It's really good, but you only run 2 because of our next card, which we'll get into, which is 3 Pot of Extravagance. I mean, this deck hardly goes into the extra deck. But since this restricts you from drawing any cards, if you draw this off a Pot of Extravagance, it's pretty much a waste because you can't utilize this card's effect during the same turn. And no surprise, this deck hates back rows, so I'm running 2 Twin Twisters and 1 Harpy's Feather Duster. You can change these out for Lightning Storm if you have access to Lightning Storm. We don't, obviously. Some of us do, but I don't specifically. So I'm running Twin Twisters because some of your cards benefit from being in the graveyard, and Harpy's Feather Duster because it's Harpy's Feather Duster. You can run Cosmic Cyclone, you can run 3 Twin Twisters, you can run whatever feels right to you. Now off to the one-ofs, 1 Terraforming, obviously, because War Rock Mountain. It's a warrior deck, so why wouldn't you run Rhoda, Monster Reborn, and Call by the Grave. All generic one-ofs. Now off to the traps. The hardest thing that I've found out about this deck is that it needs a going first strategy. So I'm running 3 Solemn Strike and 2 Goes and Match. You're running mostly Earth, so this is really good against some matchups. and Solemn Strike is really good against stuff like True King of All Calamities or any of your other monster heavy decks like Zodiac or even Eldritch if they try to use this effect to get back to the field or remove any of your monsters. Now off to the extra deck. Again, you don't really do much with your extra deck, but your most formidable ones are going to be these two. Flame Swordsman because it gives all your warrior monsters an extra 500 for boost, and him because it's it's Earth support to go into Boral Sword, Nightmare Phoenix and Security Dragon. You can really run anything that you want, but I would highly recommend running Flame Swordsman above anything else. It's probably the most useful card. To Abyss Dweller, it's we have level 4s. Dark Rebellion Dragon, Tornado Dragon for the back row hate, and Baguska as an alternative going first strategy. And then 2 targets in case we go against any Dogmaticas. Now off to the side. Again, back row, it's our biggest weakness. So I'm running Denko Sekka of all things. Because I think it's really useful. You activate this, they set a bunch of back row, you activate this, swing into them, they can't really do much, and other than the strikes and the goes, and you don't really run any back row cards. So really good against stuff like Ultrageist or any trap heavy cards like Eldritch. Ally of Justice Cycle Reader in case you go up against any Drytrons. Kaiju to get rid of any Dragoons or problematic monsters. Artifact Lancia for the Virtual World matchup. DD Crow for Eldritch, and then just more back row hate. So yeah, guys, that is the War Rock deck profile. Let me know what you guys think. If you want an update to this with like a hybrid, like with Gokis or something like that, feel free to comment down below. Until then, we will catch you guys later.